Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and we're in December, which is the month of Best of the Year lists. Jason and I are going to have a bunch of videos, and the first one is this one, my top 10 crowdfunding games. I covered quite a few, and these are my favorites of the bunch. None of these have delivered yet. I'm not counting games that are already out, only ones that are coming in the next year or two. So first at number 10, I have World Spanner Factions, and again, this is one that I have a personal connection to. I've played the Duel of Ages series for years, since the first one was out, so I'm already naturally disposed of this one, but it's a great game for varied characters, for varied combos of items, for cool tactical choices, and the solo mode that they've added for this new edition is really working well and brings a game that I never thought I'd be able to play solo or co-op into the solo co-op realm. So that's World Spanner Factions, my number 10. I'm really excited for the tactical play in this one. Then at number 9, I've got Dice Throne Missions. I'll be honest that I've soured a bit on the Dice Thrones formula in general. There are just other 1v1 games I prefer more, and Dice Throne Adventures got a little bit repetitive for me. But Dice Throne Missions is great. It has fun variety in the stages, in the bosses, in the characters, the tactics change up, the ally system where you get these like temporary cards to help you out are a lot of fun. Now, it's not going to magically make me fall entirely in love with Dice Throne. Again, the main gameplay is not my favorite at this point, but certainly if I'm ever going to play Dice Throne at this point, this is the way I'm going to do it. So that is Dice Throne Missions, my number 9. Then for my number 8, I've got Peacemakers, Horrors of War, the follow-up to Dawn of Peacemakers. I really enjoyed that one, and I think this is an even nicer take on the game. It's got the great book boards that I love in games, really fun tactical choices, a focus on non-violence as a game mechanic, which I really enjoy, and also that interesting mechanic of trying to predict what the other armies will do and kind of affected in your favor. I like this one for solo and 2-player. Not sure I would want to play with more than that, but really excited for this one. That is Peacemakers, Horrors of War, my number 8. Then for my number 7 is the first Awaken Realms game on the list, but there's going to be a few. This was a good year for them in my mind. This is Stalker, the stealth campaign narrative something game. And this one, it could be higher. It could end up lower. What I played was an early build of the game, and already, like I've seen some people wanting them to change the stealth mechanic. I thought it worked pretty well, but it's got a really great sense of exploration. The stealth play is pretty good. Not my favorite. That's still a burn cycle for my best stealth, but I like the play of the game, the variety in missions, at least what I saw so far, and I love the fact that, at least from what I remember, the campaign structure for this is a series of short missions put together, and that's it. Like, it's a bunch of small campaigns instead of one of these games you got to play for like 100 hours. So Stalker, at least for now, is my number 7. And then my number 6 is a match made in heaven, for Mike's taste at least. I like boss battlers and I love JRPGs, and Encounters Shattered Wastes is a nice marriage of them. Great variety in the bosses, but one-off play if you don't want to go through like campaign craziness. Really cool characters inspired by JRPG tropes. Great variety in the abilities, and even game to game, the ability combos you'll have are really different. And yeah, this one's really good for solo, really good for co-op. It does have some dice luck not everyone's going to enjoy, but Encountered Shattered Wastes is great, and it's my number 6. Next at number 5 is Dead Cells, the board game. This is another one that's based on an IP that I really enjoy. Now, this one I only got to play the Tabletopia demo. I only got to play like the tiny bit of gameplay that was on there. The solo mode was only partially enabled, but this one really models the speed I love in roguelike games, the fun progression, how you're unlocking things and such. And this is from the team that did the Zombie Kids franchise and Sky Team that I love this year, so I trust them to really get it right. So yeah, really excited to play more of this for solo and co-op. That is Dead Cells. Then Awaken Realms is back with my number 4. This is Dragon Eclipse. This one is a combination of sort of choose your own adventurous narrative exploration and fun kind of Pokemon collecting and combat. Now, I didn't get to see a ton of this one, just the tutorial, but I really liked what I saw. The combat is quick and fun, has like a sort of riff on the Ark Nova-ish, Civilization New Dawn-ish mechanic where like you're playing cards and they're moving along a line. And the characters are adorable, and they're going to do kind of a roguelite quick one-off mode if you don't want to play the whole campaign, so I'm excited to see how that pans out. So yeah, Dragon Eclipse, definitely an aspirational one I want to play whenever it's done. That's my number 4. Then my number 3 is one I was so happy to see come back to crowdfunding. That is Leviathan Wilds. Talking about how Mike loves video game-inspired IPs and board games. This one is heavily inspired by Shadow of the Colossus. And yeah, this is where you're climbing on giant creatures trying to break crystals. It has a really cool mechanic of playing cards both for special powers, but also for statistics that I really enjoy. Really good co-op between the players, being able to help each other out. This whole idea of like holding on and resting at the right time. Great variety in the bosses. Again, not a forced campaign mode, but I think they might have added something you can do, but I prefer the one-off mode anyway. So yeah, this is one that I'm very, very excited for. I've loved since I first played it, and they've made it even better. That is Leviathan Wilds, my number 3. Now, my number 2 was a surprise because it came so late. It wouldn't have been on my list if I hadn't covered it pretty recently, and that is Nemesis Retaliation. I didn't love the original Nemesis. I never played Lockdown, but I love aliens. I love tense action and the card play choices, the tension in the game, the great exploration of tiles, the crazy difficulty that, I don't necessarily love that part, but this game is just so much fun. Just a little bit I got to play, and they don't even have like the solo co op official stuff done yet. And yet, just playing the game's rules as written with solo and co op was totally fine and a blast because it's so hard anyway that even if you're fully cooperating, you're still probably going to die. So yeah, I was really blown away by this one. Super enjoyed it right at the end of the year. Enough for it to be my number 2. That's Nemesis Retaliation. And then my number 1 is a bit of a combo and a bit of a cheat because these aren't new games, but they're my favorites and they got more content and I love it. Number 1 is a level 99 combo of Guilty Gear, the new season of Exceed, my favorite fighting game, and the new Bullet expansions. What is it? Bullet, Palette, and Paw, I think. So starting with Exceed, this is, if I haven't mentioned it a lot, this is my favorite fighting game of all time. One of my top games of all time in general. Certainly the game I play the most lately because both of my sons love it and they play against each other and they play with me like a lot. To be clear, this is a competitive card-based fighting game, but I made a solo mode for it that I think works great. I actually am not using it as much as I usually do because, again, my kids are playing with me, but it's a ton of fun. And from what I've seen of only 2 new fighters for Guilty Gear, only 2 out of the many that'll be in the season, they seem great and I like the new mechanics and everything. So yeah, Guilty Gear Strive Exceed is one of my number 1s. Again, I'm sort of cheating here. And then going to my other number 1, Bullet Universe. I love this game. I've been playing this more recently too, and it's always fun. And from what I've seen of the new characters, I got to play a little bit with some of them. They sent previews and posted them for other ones. This is just more Bullet, and that's what I want because both Bullet and Exceed are some of my favorite games of all time. So yeah, at least when it comes to these games, level 99 cannot miss, and having more of them is just like a Christmas present to me. So those are my number 1 crowdfunding games for 2023. So thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed. And again, we'll have more top lists coming soon. Jason's or mine. I'm not sure which one is going to be next. But until next time, I'll see you at the next stop.